a major objective of our government is to provide the necessary infrastructure, and that includes railroad infrastructure, as well as pipelines that can be used to deliver oil to the refinery, as well as oil products to the troops when that is needed. Of particular importance are the corridors or the road infrastructure that goes from the ports in the Mediterranean towards Bulgaria and then further north to Romania, as well as the corridor from west to east that would allow troop contributing nations to the multinational battle group to move directly personnel and equipment whenever that becomes necessary. Russia is building on narratives that have been promoted for, I would say, close to 2 centuries probably in the country, in Bulgaria in particular. So whatever Russia is currently doing in terms of propaganda falls on a very fruitful ground from the Russian point of view. So what we need to do in that respect is first to be able to present the history in its real meaning to the Bulgarian people, even because generation after generation have been taught that Russia is our friend and our liberator, and we need to be internally grateful to it for what it has been done. Although in the history we have often been on different sides in conflict, and also Russia has often been pursuing its own interests to the detriment of the interest of the Bulgarian people. So one thing is to teach the history, is the education. Another thing is to be able to identify disinformation campaigns and propaganda campaigns and find the best possible ways to counter those campaigns. In that respect, we need to be able to follow the propaganda, disinformation campaigns, not only in the traditional media, but also in social networks, including social networks that are appearing new ones day by day, yes, and that are changing their influence. Some new ones are becoming very influential, trying to be able to assess the impact on different groups of the population and find the most suitable narrative to counter that disinformation.
How has it been so far, your evaluation? Has it been working with the Bulgarian people?
To an extent.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent, we succeed to counter that disinformation, but not always. Not always. It's a type of conflict that goes on in the information space continuously. We already have for the three services, 3 main projects. One is to acquire a full squadron of F-16 Block 70, which is a very modern aircraft. We expect them in a little bit over than a year to be in Bulgaria. The other one is to build 2 patrol ships, again, very modern ships that will be fully interoperable with ships by other allies. And the third one, concluded last year, was to provide the combat vehicles for a mechanized brigade, which are very significant for our capacity. And we continue further with, we expect soon to sign a contract for the delivery of 3D radars. And we have a very comprehensive but also prioritized program of defense investments that, given the resource constraint, would allow us to meet the highest priorities, which are, other than the ones mentioned, we are discussing air and missile defense systems, coastal defense systems, the development of the necessary infrastructure for host nation support. We also pay attention to the risks coming from the capture of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the biggest one in Europe, by Russia. So we have the readiness to react to a nuclear, whether it's incident or it's a use of nuclear weapons, by preparing the population, keeping some stocks of the necessary material. But generally, we do not expect. We see that more as a propaganda and tool of coercion of Ukraine and some countries that may become more hesitant to support Ukraine. It's more a rhetoric on the Russian side. That's how we see it at the moment.
Exactly, increasing the security and also logical preparedness, prepositions, stock munitions, and other critical logistical factors. From the Bulgarian perspective, how can the alliance do all this?
First, every country needs to do that. Every country that expects to host allied forces on its own territory need to be prepared. Some of that is a national effort with national investment. Other can be covered by NATO programs, such as the NCIP program. Or when we talk about military mobility, NATO and European Union coordinate those efforts. In European Union funding is available for certain aspects of developing the capability needed to enhance the transfer of troops and equipment to the front line or to the eastern flank countries. So that's how we manage. But the big portion of the infrastructure of which I talked is being financed through national sources.